Alright, see the file. OBS says it's recording. I know not to trust because sometimes audio starts like... Anyway, yeah, I'm in Satisfactory this week, not Darksiders 2, because I need the break. I've been busy this week. I've been working on the performance analysis for Serious M4 and Crisis Remastered, which... some good stuff, some not so good stuff. Yeah. But I also just... Jesus. That doesn't seem right. Was it really only that long ago that I let myself spend some time here? I thought it was before I got to work on the performance analyses I was doing most of this. Anyway. I did do some work in here, and it's like, hey, I'll show it off and like spend some time in the game again, because literally Crisis has been the only game that I've remastered. It's been the only game I've launched since I've really been working this week. Yeah, I wanted to check some stuff. So there's an unfortunate issue currently, Crisis Remastered, which the key was provided, and I am still thankful for that. And well, here, let me check. I haven't seen anything change on it, but I can quickly check since I do run this in a window. The most recent update to my knowledge, which I could be wrong on it, is update 1.2.0 for Crisis, and known issues. Using borderless display mode locks the game to the display's refresh rate. It's actually a little bit worse than that, in a weird way, and I think that is the most recent update. Yeah, it looks like it. And, well, the thing is, when you play that game in full screen, commands can't go through. So I can't, like, start the data recording when in full screen with the frame rate being unlocked. So all my data is with that lock. And there's also some weird behavior between the AMD GPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. It does make it a lot harder to do some of the work, but, you know, like, some of the interpretation, but it's what I got. I did, though, since... you know, I'm on my desktop writing this stuff, I decided, you know what? I'm going to see what happens with the RX 580 running it in full screen, because I just started the recording beforehand, before going to full screen, and then did 5 minutes, a little bit more. Went back to borderless, stopped it, and then I have to trim. I'm not doing that for all these GPUs. I'm also not going to just go through and cycle through all of them. I'm using the data that I have, which is still useful, it's just not as useful, but I did that so we can see what the impact is, and that there is some impact there. But anyway, it's Satisfactory. And I have like no notes for the news this week. I've just been that focused on that stuff. Although, I could talk about how, hey, Cyberpunk 2077 had some neat stuff with their vehicles. But yeah, I've been rejiggering a lot in here. I should probably rejigger that at some point, but right now, this had been set up for the reinforced iron plate and the modular frame, and it was not very well designed. It was very like smushed together. So I used one of the many tools out there to help to figure out what the optimal would be. It doesn't look like it is based on stuff actually being, you know, standing still here, unless I don't have something hooked up, which is possible. But anyway, I've got it set up, so in theory I've got the appropriate number of smelters, taking the ore, which, okay. I just wanted to check that I don't have that overclock, because sometimes I will overclock them just to get everything filled, and then slow it down. So it comes over here, some of it gets made into sheets. Where is the other? Okay, I think this must only feed for the sheets, yeah, and then these are set up to only feed into here to make the screws, because you need both. There are recipes for both the modular frame and the reinforced iron plate that use screws, so helps to just use those. Comes up here, and there are the screws. This, I think, is the reinforced iron plate, right? Yeah. So then needs the iron plate. And as you can see, these are underclocked a little so that you know, they don't burn through things too quickly. And I just... I just noticed how sometimes some of these are backed up somehow. Do that. And that, hopefully that will help. Because I have a manifold setup instead of a splitter setup, the last ones always get leak less, but sometimes it's not a bad idea to just, feed them artificially like I just did, because when these are full, then these get filled up faster, so I may just be helping with that time. And then over here, same kind of deal, but it's for the modular frames, which is kind of interesting because they take the reinforced plate, which is why I have this mess here. I don't remember the breakdown, but I have it broken out so that it evenly, or more or less evenly splits, so that the outputs, I'll get the same number of reinforced iron plate and the same number of modular frames out. And I just don't remember what the actual breakdown is, but I have it going into a splitter here. It then goes into... yeah, that's a merger, which then spits that to this splitter so that we've got... it's... hang on. There we go. This splitter feeds 2, so 2/3 of it comes here, which is a merger that then goes off, I think, yeah, this is to storage. While this 1/3 will go off. Wait a minute. There we go. See? It wasn't actually hooked up correctly. So the 1/3 comes off here, and it gets split again with 1/6 going this way and a 1/6 going back into there. So it's, yeah, some of the splitter stuff gets really, really complicated. But there, so these were actually getting less than they should have. So that will have that fixed now. The real change I made and why this is a 2.1 save instead of just 2 is over there. And I think... no, I haven't done this. It's mainly just... I think I did build out... oh no, I did make a few changes over there. No. So I had over here the stuff for making copper wire, cable, copper sheets, right? Is that what they're called? Copper sheet, AI limiter, and quick wire. And these, I like having these boxes here, so whatever slack I may have, I can just throw. And previously these were over there, and I had quick wire coming in from over there, coming up, and just built up things over here for doing, and it worked, but it was really messy and not necessarily that efficient. I also didn't have things properly set up to feed into a sink here so that production basically never stops. But as you can see, there's still a little bit of a problem here that the flow is stalling because of how much quick wire there is. I could just set it up where quick wire has its own sink, but I don't feel like building out over there. This works well enough. And currently all those are full, so everything is just going into the sink. How is it looking? Not bad, about 400,000 points a minute on average. But this is what it now looks like. All that production. And it is kind of nuts, yes. Especially when you consider that before I had this stuff stacked in ways, I mean, yeah. So over there is making concrete, which actually, yeah. That. So the concrete has no use but to build stuff, which is fine. So it's not a bad idea to set it up so that anything not being used will just be sunk. Nope, I have the alarm. So here what I'm just doing is having it set up so I have a manifold there, left, any center will actually be overflow. Two there, and alright, so what will happen now is once I get all these set up, which I barely have enough aluminum for, I think. Alright, so the way this is set up is it is making concrete via the wet concrete recipe, which is really efficient. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's 80 per minute versus 15, using just twice as much. So doubling this, you'd still have 30. This is almost 3 times more efficient. So it feeds them in here, and by using the smart splitter, this one will always be filled up first. So I can take from there, no problem. It'll always fill up. Whereas these are going to be more just, you know, additional buffers. So that if for some reason I do go through all of this, I can then work on these. And now I've got these additional ones in over there, the sinks, so that way, you know, it's generally, I mean, yeah, it's an issue if you don't have enough power for it, but I have the power for it. But having all your machines running at full speed is not really a bad thing for efficiency. Which is part of the reason the Awesome Sink is so nice. And it's just here I want to make sure that I never am without concrete. Because I do use it a fair amount. Like right there. Also here. But that's what that does. Then over here, we have water being pumped in. That's the copper ore, so that is pure copper ingot recipe. And yes, I have it set up so that there's a little bit of water over top the foundation. I actually kind of like the effect. Are these underclocked? Okay, they are. Yeah, I like using 3 of them and just underclocking. You know, instead of just using like 2, and because it's only 180 that I need. 3 times 60, which I could just do is 2 of them at 90, but you know, this works. So yeah, it's doing that. Unfortunately, those just stopped because I'm still not using enough water. I guess I might be able to find some way to speed things up, but it actually is split. So some of the copper is going over here to be made into the wire, which is then here. This is actually part of the last stuff I did. Look at that go. Now, I have a second floor right up there. That's why there's some coming in here, but it's going there to go through some splitters that I'll try to get to, and this is making cable. Yeah. Right here, so I've got another, it's, you know, one splitter has 3 outputs, 2/3 I need to go here to make the cable. Cable takes 2 wire for one piece, so one going that way, they basically get produced at the same speed. You can see the result there. It is definitely satisfying to watch, isn't it? Hence the name of the game. While the other side... The other side, the other half of the ingots that are produced, and I'm using that as the marker between them. These go over here. Again, feeding water in to make the copper sheets, because there's also an alternate recipe there. that instead of 10, it's 22.5. It's like water it's literally just an energy requirement. Because it's like if you have water, it's an unlimited resource like anything, but you don't need to do special processing first. It does look like I may need to do some work here. Oh, and then this is the whole having it split properly stuff here. Yeah, this is Alright. Yeah, I should just build out more. But the thing is, it is set up to use, like, the quick... It's actually set up so it should be using as much as being produced. It's just, it's probably slowing up. Because it's not continuous usage. That would be an amazing change. But, not gonna happen, I'm sure. Oh, you know, and it's probably also not helping that the awesome sink is stalling. Right there. Alright, I do have this. Well, not perfectly set up here, but I do have it mostly set up so I can't expand it. So might as well just do that. But yeah, we do have some news for changes that will be coming, some quality of life changes. I just realized I can't actually do this because I don't have the aluminum for it. There. The AI limiters, by the way, are used in the smart splitters. That's why I want so many of them. But yeah, so Coffee Stain has shared some stuff about what is coming. This, by the way, in case anyone ever forgets, it is Friday, and I saw only today. I don't remember though if it was like an actual today announcement or if it's no, I will just barely have enough to do that, but nothing else. Anyway, they announced, they teased some stuff, and I think one of the things might have been today, it might have been late yesterday, and I didn't see it. The thing they already teased is a packaging and unpackaging building, which people have been begging for since fluids were introduced. Because currently, in order to package up fuel, for example, a lot of it is because of the diluted fuel, I would say, which is a very nice recipe, and I am using it actually. It converts heavy oil residue. Oh wait, no, that I had one more thing. It converts it with water into fuel at a very efficient rate. The thing is that it produces it as packaged fuel, so because you're using packaged water, so you need to, bottled water, so you need to bottle the water, you also need to unbottle the fuel to do anything with it. So, people have been wanting a packager and unpackager because a refinery takes 30 power to do, and they're fairly large, as you know, we can see over here. It's like that's pretty big, and they're not cheap to make either. I know what. I'm gonna go up. Does that do it? Aha! It will. Not quite. I'm gonna put the awesome sink on top. I like to align the things on north-south. Yeah, that should just be. Yeah, it should be there. Alright, need to get aluminum? Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to the packager and unpackager, so it'll do the same thing. Just, depending on what you give it, you'll get the appropriate output. But then today they also showed something teasing. I don't use them, the jump pads, but now you will be able to actually aim them. So, I mean, the jump pads, you give them power, you stand on them, and they launch you. There's both a vertical one that just pushes you straight up. There's also one that pushes you at an angle. And the angled one will now actually give you a holographic line for where it's going to go, and you can change. Which, I mean, I don't use them. I probably still won't use them. Oh, X. Yeah. I don't like leaving them empty, because if you stand here and then you like put something in it, you will be killed. So I don't like leaving them empty, but whatever. So there's that with the jump pads, but also what they showed in there, they teased in there that's like, ooh. Currently, well, one of the things that they added a while ago now was wall-mounted power poles, power plugs. They're definitely helpful, especially because you can have one that goes through the wall, so you don't need to run a cable through a wall, so it looks nicer. But one thing that a lot of people have been asking for is like, here, there's a wall. It's like, okay, I want to, put something here. It's like, it's not converting if I do that one. There. If I try to do that, see, once I put the power pole there, it looked like from the teaser, it will now correctly see, oh, that's a wall. I will now choose to put one of these there. But they also showed something else. The same exact process as that, but ceiling mounted, which that could be pretty neat. You know what? Yes, I will do it. I will realign this one. Okay. Still keep it back. There. So that will speed that up a lot. Only that wouldn't emerge. Or if I just had a better... Let me... Maybe. Yep, there we go. See, now that way it... Oh, yeah. See, now that way overflow will go to both of the sides. Like that, so this way either one can. So I'm basically just supporting that. I did not realize I could just do that. Well, no, I huh. Yeah. I mean, not that I don't like how they go around like that, but doing it this way would better. I'll do that in a little bit. Let me get that stuff set up. And yes, I couldn't remember if I had set up a hypertube or not. Yeah, I prefer to set up hypertubes to do that stuff, whereas other people would be like, oh, I'll just, put a jump pad. Oh, and in case you're wondering, how did he do this? I built this part, so I put that down then. So that's no longer stalled at all, which is good. I am concerned about how these things will behave, but whatever. I did this wrong. and I don't want it to be wrong. No, no. Some may say this is OCD. I say it's efficient design. I mean, it kind of is, right? Because it's, you want it to, by having it be as repeated as possible, as simple as possible, it's, easier that, oh, I need to expand it now. And it's like, okay, I know it'll work this way. So there. And yeah, those all set up. So, yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about, is the quick wire. There might not be. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me. If I didn't... Oh, yeah. Oh. We'll see what happens. Okay, I can see what's happening. That's annoying. So because of the stall that was being caused by the, by only the one awesomes, because of that, it was, able to back up enough to actually benefit those, since there was now more quick wire for them to use. So the fact that I just got rid of that kind of destroys the point. Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna start this. Well, yeah, okay. Wait. Let me set that. I may have. Oh, there. Got it. Yeah, there's a certain lack of linearity in some of that stuff. Pop that. Yeah. Like you can build things in different orders and get different results. Damn it, now I'm just trying to think, how can I... Okay. Okay, no, I see it. I was being stupid. I was thinking I could go all the way with it. I can't. All I can do is set up so that the overflow for those. And actually, yeah, I will leave it this way then for those, because it just looks kind of nice. Yeah, I think that. Except for, I mean, yeah, this is kind of ugly, but well, here I can set it back to how it was. But that, yep, work. That's it. You know, the funny thing is that technically this shouldn't... That still shouldn't be working efficiently, because the number of copper sheets. By the way, one other change that I made, and should appear here. So yeah, that's the turbo train, where I am using the diluted fuel recipe, so the bottler I will be putting to use over there. But I also set up that one, this heavy residue production. So previously I always had to set the train, take me here, and then I just rode it further over. Now I actually did set up a station there, so I can just tell it to go directly there. So okay, with this backing up, there is now more quick wire that will go through here. And then that helps with this stuff, which I do find interesting. I'm not sure why there would be an overabundance of the copper sheet. But based on that... Ooh, that one is... Oh. I have this wrong then. Which is not surprising, really. There. Oh, that's alright. The backup on the quick wire isn't enough to support 2, but it looks like it might be enough to support 1. This is why. There. That will be dealt with. Alright, let's go fill up on the aluminum plate. Yeah, and this is so, even though it doesn't necessarily look it, this is much cleaner than what I had before. It is a little unfortunate, though, that I have to go so much further to get to the concrete over there, but, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and I'm also a little curious. There's this thing. I'm also just a little curious about how well this is going. Those two would be full, that one's getting there, and these will have progressively less, because it's first priority. Well, let's ignore that. So 1/2, 1/4, right? Yeah, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32 is how that will go. Just because each splitter is cutting the output in half, because half goes into a storage container, half goes on. But with that much, it'll take a while. I should not have a need of more of it in the future. Why am I going this way? I do not. But hopefully it'll keep all this stuff going, and it's not flat. Man, I saw one guy, he has actually done all the math to have it be flat, where all the production is basically completely even throughout, so nothing is turning off. It's like, wow, I will never do that, but that, it does impress me. Not that my opinion matters on it, but it's still that impressive. I will be wrapping this up soon. Mainly I just want to get in the train, head over to the aluminum, and do that. Oh, I also added some more coal over there, because I have coal power set up. I added 2 more on each line, which I think is 8. I think I had 4 lines before. I don't remember. I also did some rejiggering over here. Yeah, that's right. I actually did. I did a lot of rejiggering over here because I didn't like how slowly I was getting stuff like the stators. And I don't know why. It's very weird that it's. I mean, you look over here and look at that. There are more than enough of the rotors, but the stators are so slow. The recipe, though, it's the same speed. It's like 5 parts per minute and 5 parts per minute. It's even 3 and 8. Oh, 2 and 6. Okay. But it's just weird that the stators are going so much slower, because it should still balance out, because there's plenty being produced. But I did also, actually before I did that stuff, I rejiggered a lot down here. Show you. Look at that. I did so much rejiggering. So this is set up so it can use a copper alloy ingot, so it's copper and iron together, produces 90 parts per minute, so it's actually a fair bit more efficient. 2 of these is handling all of these constructors, and even then, if you look, they are actually stalling. It's like that there's more being produced than they need. And and it's just pumping out the wire. But also over here, after a whole bunch, I mean, look at this monstrosity I had to put together, just so it would split the proper number of iron, or to go for the copper, as to go over here for an iron alloy ink, which uses iron and copper. Do that, and then also have the coal so that it can be made into the iron ingot combined with the coal to produce solid steel, so that can then go up. I did so much jiggering here. And I did consider setting up to do like the pure stuff with the refineries, the pure ingots, but nah, this was actually more efficient. Plus, I don't like having to build refineries all over the place. I just want to quickly. You're full. For the longest time, I didn't try doing this and didn't realize that it would work. Where you can just, if you drag it over and just drop it like that, it fills up the stack that you dropped onto. Wish I had known that a while ago. Oh, I didn't realize that was on. Geo-aluminum? Because I have the... yeah, there's a geothermal plant right here. A lot of these are actually just geothermal plants. That one I know is these two are. That one is, but it's also connected to that. This is not. That's just a north base, because there's a lot of good resource up there. That's where I've got the heavy modular frames being produced. This is oil. This is the main base. This is the train steel stuff. I built it down here because in my other save where I started here, I want to say, and worked down. I just found that worked nicely, and then over here is where I'm making the Noblesse, which I actually should probably put down a thing there, train station there. To get to. I think I do need some. I just don't remember. You know, it just occurred to me with the packager and unpackager. I wonder if they will also add in like Mark II pipes, because a lot of people have been complaining about the current pipes in the game can only do 300 is it cubic meters? I don't remember what the unit is, but 300 units per second of fluid travel. But you can easily get various things up to 600. Or at least past that. So people have been like, when are we getting the Mark II? When are we getting the Mark II? I wonder if they might want to do that with the packager, just because it the speed of the belts that you'd be able to have package things go in. But it also just depends on how fast they want the packagers to go, because they could just be like, nah, we're gonna have the packagers go slow enough that it's still 300 is enough according to us. I don't doubt that there will be Mark II pipes at some point, but I'm just saying, as somebody that I have no connection at all to Coffee Stain, but as somebody that does know some little bit about game development, it could still be yeah, we're setting stuff up that's like, you still want that, but it's gonna be months still before we do that. It's like, it's on the board, we're gonna do it, just don't hold your breath. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's completely fine for something like that, where it's like, it's not breaking your game, it's not hurting the gameplay. And this is an early access game. What do you... No, normally I have the audio turned down, so I don't actually hear the sounds of it moving. I do wish, though, that at this point the train works up. But it's... Wait. Oh, no. Okay, when it's, when there's stuff in here, so it actually has to go back and deposit what it couldn't use back in there, it locks the train for longer. Alright, there. Yeah, I'm looking to see how this is going. I really should. I'm very much considering taking out the power here, because this is like such a little point for it. Or maybe just, we move it here. Because it is kind of, to put it another way, this area could use some rejiggering. And now I'm kind of wondering, where does the word jiggering? The whole you go in there and you futz around with it. Where does futz come from? I don't know about that one either. But, you come in here and you just, make changes to it to try to make it better. I do kind of wonder where that comes from. But yeah, this stuff is, because this is all being pumped up to that tank, just so that those guys get even flow. Yeah, nothing. That's how little these currently... Or... Huh? Wait a minute. So you actually are having some flow here. Look at that. I should really also, be back this up, because what is that, 40 minutes now? Because those autosaves are 10 minutes. How? Huh. I'm just curious how down there was that section that was saying 0, but up here we're seeing much more. Nothing that would be nice is if, when you stack them like this, they would actually connect and become a larger buffer. That would be so nice. I mean, they're just things with the splitter. The, what is it called? That's what it does, this thing. The junction. The things with the junction. I just wish that it would get a little bit redesigned. Like, it's a little annoying that it's only, cross-shaped like this. It'd be nice if you could have it, like there, and then one poking up. It's also a little annoying that, like, here it can only be like that. But you can set up, the through the wall things, and it's like, it'd be nice if I could have it like this, so it would attach on that nicely. It would also be nice if it wasn't just evenly sliding around here, that if it could snap on there, because otherwise, the way I need to do this, and I've done this before, I need to put down that section of pipe, and then fiddle with aiming. I was just thinking, do I want to try showing it some way? Probably not. And then fiddle with aiming that so it snaps in the right spot. It's like the placement stuff for that could be... That would be my biggest thing. It's like, can we improve placing those things? And then there's, the whole... I would do secondary different configuration. I mean, it would be neat since they did set up the through the wall ports, if they were able to abstract that kind of system enough so that it you could just attach another port to a pipe, just generically do that and have it format. That would be awesome. And that would be, in my opinion, how I would want to handle that if I were the developer. Okay, we'll have that on the board, and don't expect us to talk about it again for a very long time. We have other things we're focused on. But we like that idea, or maybe they don't like the idea. Yeah, that reminds me of one thing I saw. I'm just going to go back to the lake-based save and stuff. I don't do nuclear power in this because I don't need that much power for one thing, but it leaves nuclear waste. That currently there's nothing you can do with it. It just sits there and makes parts of the map uninhabitable. Apparently, but when the developers first added it, they kind of said that that's intentional. We want you stuck with it. But apparently they have been discussing, and there are some that are saying, well, we really should give something to do with it. And I do hope so. Because I won't touch it. I've got no reason to. It's also very complex to get into. It's like, I have no reason to. I've got plenty of power without it. And I don't want to have to deal with stuff I can't get rid of. And it's also really funny to me because it's like, I mean, yes, dealing with nuclear waste is a real issue. There are also real solutions. I mean, it can be recycled, reprocessed, so you can use it again and basically keep cycling through it until you have completely depleted metals. Whether that's depleted uranium or you get all the way down to lead or whatever, you can do that. There's also thorium reactors. I mean, true, here it is uranium, but it's like if you introduce that as an option. There's also better methods of storing it. Like one person went through how you could potentially like have a product combined with concrete that would basically neutralize it, because that is something that you can do, and it would give concrete another use than just, building. It'll come back. Yep. You are able to reach it. Yeah, see, it's going to come back. Braking areas, by the way, would be nice. Like something there that, one way a brake, so it would start slowing me down automatically to get here. Or just fixing the train so that it recognizes that, oh, I can go in reverse. I'm sure they'll get to it eventually, but they have higher priorities, and I recognize that, and I'm very glad, so much of what they've already given us is as fun as it is. It's like, I remember when I was first playing this game, I still did some modded Minecraft stuff, and it's like, the heavily modded Minecraft, part of the reason why I enjoy that over the normal Minecraft is not the whole, oh, I've got so much other stuff here to mess with, it's new goals. Goals have been given to me, whereas base Minecraft doesn't really have that for me. It's like you get to a point, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Keep doing what you have been doing. In Satisfactory, though, we have plenty of goals, which are to produce the different things that you need, that you want. But it's also figuring out how to do it in different locations. And that is also part of the fun, or finding a good location to do certain things in, like the fuel. I have that in the desert area because for me, I feel that's the most efficient place for me to build it. It's like that is nice, and I look for, and so I'm very happy with where the game is. I'm looking forward to all stuff to come, and that was me just playing Satisfactory and talking. Oh boy, I'm just trying to think. Is there anything coming up that'll be interesting? No, we're more than a week out from the AMD event for the Radeon GPUs, which, man, is interesting to see some people talking about how, oh, Big Navi, it's only competing with at best the RTX 3080, oh, it's failure. And then other people pointing out, we don't know what the actual GPU was that was being used. We just know it's an RDNA 2 GPU, but nothing more than that. And then some people saying that, no, AMD, I haven't seen the quote, but supposedly somebody from AMD base said that, yeah, that's not the top end that we would use. So, yeah, it's all kinds of things going on there. I saw a rumor that supposedly Big Navi, Navi 21 can have as many as 128 ROPs. That's a lot. And ROPs are the rasterization operation part of the GPU. So, if I understand it all correctly, basically, ROPs, the number of ROPs you have and their speed directly relates to the ability of the GPU to render pixels. Well, to at least do all the final shading and such of the pixels for the image. So 128 ROPs would be very strong for high resolution. That would be a very interesting thing if it proves true. We don't know. We'll find out, though, well, that kind of detail might actually be saved until release. But October 28th, we'll find out some. Let me see, there's also various game releases coming up. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's November 10th, so I don't have to worry about that for a while yet. I'm so busy, I'm glad that I don't have to worry about some of these games for a while yet. Cyberpunk is in November. When is Dirt 5? I don't remember, and I don't feel like looking it up. Watch Dogs Legion is coming up as well. So many big titles coming up. Yeah. And I, for anyone wanting, I have no idea if I'm getting any keys for any of this stuff. I've put in requests. That's it. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I won't. Honestly, and I've told this to some people, I have enough projects, some of them already started, that even if I got no more game keys to review for the rest of the year, I'd still be working the rest of the year on these different projects. Hey, I enjoy doing this work, so at least there's that. But man, vacation is not something I really get to experience. Alright, see you next time.